Hey guys, what's up? I got Brian, Maurice, and Alison Andrews here. And as you can see, we're a bunch of EXP real estate agents, and we're just talking about it. And guys, this is going to be a video for our group of agents that we brought into the company, and also, maybe for a bunch of real estate agents that are looking to get into the company. So, I want to introduce Alison. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. I am Alison Andrews, real estate agent in Southeast Louisiana. Live in St. Charles Parish, but handle, most of the Southeast part of Louisiana. Been in real estate just over 5 years. Do about 40 to 50 transactions a year. Really started out great. I was truly blessed. Started out my first year with 30 transactions.
30 in the first year. Wow. Good stuff. All right, Brian, who are you? What you do?
Hey, I'm in Destrehan as well, out in
Where
St.
the hell
Charles
is
Parish, but I work
Destrehan?
work primarily in New Orleans, Metairie area. I'm a 2-year veteran with
Is
with
it 2 years now?
EXP. We'll be in a couple months.
That's
In a
crazy.
couple
So
months, I'll
you're
be
2 years out. So what do you can't be much more than two either, then, right?
No, I'm 5.
Five. Okay. That's true. Yeah, we talking about you. That's right. That's right. All right, Brian, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I do. I've been doing about averaging 30 transactions through my 2 years, and I'm looking to just sort of move to that next level. It's not getting my feet wet anymore. It's how do I evolve from here has been my focus.
Absolutely. So you guys both. I mean, I'll tell you, man. That's what's interesting. The downline of people that we brought into this company, EXP Realty, and other people looking at it. You guys both. Okay, let's just address this. 30 transactions in the first year each. How in the hell did y'all do that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Come on, look. There's
The
people
past
right
two
now that
years
are
have been a
like,
blur.
okay, what did they say? I'm listening.
It's kind of like take no prisoners. When I was interviewing brokerages,
Mhm.
there was one brokerage I asked, I said, so what does the normal first year agent close in transactions? Oh, about 6. I'm like,
Right.
oh, no,
Right.
that's not gonna work for
That's not
me.
me.
So as soon as
Right.
I heard that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be the total opposite of that. Um, and I wasn't going to let myself fail. Um,
So
I
what did
think
you do? I mean, okay, so they told you 6, which I get. I mean, people ask me that all the time. Anthony, what does the average real estate agent make, or how many transactions? And my first question is, do you consider yourself average? And obviously, you didn't consider yourself average at that point. So what did you do?
I had the right people with me. Um, Having those agents like-minded and um, that you could mirror from and maybe even do some shadowing, because we go to real estate school and we learn all the laws about real estate, but they don't teach you how to sell real estate.
Not at all.
So you have to be determined. You can't give up. Um, when I first started, I was not with EXP, but I have found myself to have grown with putting um, these powerful people around me to teach me what they do.
Right.
Because it's already been written,
Right.
how to do this is already there. It's just the implementation of it.
Well, that's part of the conversation we had the other day on our coaching call. We talked about this book. Okay. And then you see it's bookmark, and I got a lot of notes and everything in here. And one of the mentions that you and I had was, who are you surrounding yourself with? So interesting enough, I mean, you and I didn't know each other back then. I feel like, we've both taken our lives with Brian and everybody together to the next level. So when you say you surround yourself with people, who are those people you surrounded yourselves with? And, what were they doing that attracted you to what you now do?
So when I say surround myself, it's I don't necessarily hang with them every day or
Right.
talk to them every day, but I know that there's a core people that I can pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I have a problem with an appraisal. What do you think about this?" Or this for sale by owner is not answering my phone calls. How do I go about this? And with, our platform even, we have that workplace chat that I can ask the questions and I'm going to get an answer in New York, in Michigan, in Florida.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Because, here in the South, okay, we probably all do things kind of similar. But what are they doing up in Minnesota that might be working differently than here in the South?
Well, that's what real estate, especially like brokerages, or brokers, it can be a very lonely career or a career path unless you're involved with a lot of real estate agents. But like you said, I mean, the ability to ask other people outside of your market. That's where, when I was with Keller Williams Realty for many years, that's how I grew my business. I tell people all the time, jokingly, I say my business grew because of coaching. The part that I joke about is YouTube. Okay. And I still coach people to this day. Like I had one of our agents on our real estate team and she said, "Oh, I don't know how to use the Mojo dialer." And I said, "Oh, you don't know how to use the internet?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" "No, I didn't say that." I said, "Okay, well, go Google Mojo Dialer, go YouTube." Okay. And really I did. There's guys that I listened to years ago. People are like, "Oh, Anthony, how did you learn how to make these phone calls and have these conversations and prospect?" YouTube. Legitimately YouTube. That's
YouTube University.
Right, dude. It's crazy, but that's the amount. So think about this, Alison, you said that. You have access now with eXp Realty to thousands. We're at almost 30,000 real estate agents right now inside a workplace. You got YouTube, you have our group. And look, guys, if you're out there and watching this video and you don't have that support group or you don't have these people you can call, we're here. We'd love to have those conversations with you. But even you eXp agents that are with us right now in our downline, we don't talk to you guys a lot. And look, just know that, there's no reason to be isolated. The reason why we're doing this call right now is because I want you to know, we got 3 great people here, myself, Brian, and Alison, who are leaders in our group of agents that we brought into this company. And yet we're probably not talking to many of you guys because, one, you might not be answering the phone. I make phone calls to you guys all the time. You two answer consistently. I know, Alison, you don't like answering, right? What you told me the other day?
I said I hate to answer the phone when you call. But I love how I feel after I get off the phone with you.
Right. And I almost felt bad.
Like working out,
Right. I said, "Man, should I call her?" And I can't. I was like, "Shit, I will." Like, "Well, hey, Alison, how you feeling? How you doing? Tell me about business." There it goes. So that's great.
It's always good because I know you're going to tell me what I need to hear.
Right.
No one ever wants, because we're humans and we're going through crazy times right now, and we get down on ourselves and down with just life. And I know Anthony's going to tell me what I need to hear to kick my butt and put me in gear.
Well, with eXp Realty too, we could see the numbers, what everybody's doing, working together. And I can tell you, when you joined eXp, the funny part was, I remember you telling me, we talked about this the other day. You're like, "Anthony, do not call me and tell me to make phone calls. Do not call me and ask me my numbers because I don't want to be held accountable." And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you kind of want that to happen.
Maybe.
And that's the piece, guys. Look, you guys that are in our downline, look, that's what leaders are doing. We're not doing it, obviously, because we like beating you guys up. We just like it because I know it makes you better. I just got off a phone conversation with another broker, and he's a single broker by himself. And it's like, I don't know how I would act like that. I think I would drive myself crazy because I am motivated through talking with you guys and building you guys up. Speaking of that, Brian knows well. So Brian, tell us how you did 30 transactions or so in your first year. What was that like?
Yeah, I have to wholeheartedly agree with Alison there. I think one of my first priorities was basically make a team. It's like you back at the playground, you want to pick the best people to be by your side. And for me, it was who do I want to learn from? Who can I just want to be a sponge in the room and soak up everything I can possibly do, and then add in my mix of skills to that. And so obviously when I met you, Anthony, and actually Alison was one of the first people I called when I got into real estate, because I had taught Trey, and I knew she was a real estate agent, and I was sort of like, "Hey, what's the deal here?" and
So wait, you were a teacher before you did all this?
the EXP at the time. And I don't know, everything just sort of fell in line to where I met you guys. I met, Hung Lee with Movement.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Dude, wait, I got mine too. Hold on. I got multiple coffee cups here.
People doing things at a high level, that just, it motivates you. You're always someone to lean on, and someone to, get whatever you need from, and that's just how it goes. It goes both ways. I know.
Well, how did you do it though? I mean, how did you do 30? Okay, that's great. I mean, look, everybody knows. I mean, everybody has the access if they choose to align with somebody else, and that's maybe a part that they need to start figuring out. If they don't have that person, or they just don't reach out, that's on them. But okay, again, how did you do 30 transactions?
Yeah, and I think if you pick 10 real estate agents, you might have 10 different stories on how they are successful. I think it all bodes towards your personality. I know some people sit on the phone and all day, and they sort of work behind the scenes. I'm a out in front guy. I want to be in front of people. I've always been I never really had a group that I sort of fell in. I mean, even from when I was young, and that's played to my strength now, because I interact with a ton of people on a daily basis, and it's really kind of been driving me nuts lately not being able to do that. This whole situation, I'm just, I didn't realize how many people I actually talk to and meet with on a daily basis until now I can't.
Right.
So I've really had to sort of evolve with this. But yeah, what I did the first year, I remember, the story. Anthony was like, so you just got married, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, do you have a list of all the people you send invitations to? I said, yeah. He said, call them. Like, what do you mean? Call them. Tell them what you're doing. Because all of those people you thought enough to invite to your wedding, basically the conversation goes like, hey, I need your help. And what are they going to say? Of course, Brian, what can I do for you? Say, hey, I'm in real estate now. If you or anyone is interested in doing something, then call me. And that has been my business. Probably 90% of my business is just I've always been someone who will drop what I'm doing and help people, and so that's being reciprocated to me now. Help as many people as possible, whether it's buying or selling a house is irrelevant. It's how do I help them, and then just wait.
Well, that's where people focus so much on the actual sale of homes. And that's what, when you get into real estate and you're talking to people, it's, you're in the real estate business. You gotta be a connector. That's one thing people have always told me, Anthony, you're great at connecting people. But I mean, I get it all the time. Still get it to this day. Who do you know that does this and does that, and when I talk about connector, I mean, we had that conversation. It's funny because, Donna calls, if you guys don't know Donna too well, she was in the company with us at eXp Real. She calls Brian phone book. That's his name. Okay, to her. Okay. And so it's funny, I got a phone book right here. Okay. And then Alison, oddly enough, Alison knows, because we had this conversation, yesterday about a phone book, right, Alison?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the funny thing is, Donna had asked me, how did Brian do so great this first year? And I said, he calls the phone book. And I don't know if you actually did it or not. I know we talked about it, but essentially you did. I mean, you went through your sphere of influence. Let's just say at your wedding, you had 200-300 people. Of those 200-300 people in your wedding, they all were occupations that are listed in here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, I mean, you just went through, you were fortunate enough to have a list of people already, and that's what we talk about. I mean, the sphere of influence piece, this phone book piece is so huge. I mean, the mind jogger, I mean, you guys, look, the one thing I want to say, guys, that everybody who's listening to this video or watching this on YouTube, wherever it may be, these guys don't make cold calls as much as I do. Okay. And yet, Brian, I've fought with him 1,000 times. Brian and I have this conversation almost every time we talk. Alison, we kind of do. But these guys have sold 30 homes in their first year without truly making, I mean, they make their calls, don't get me wrong, but not, hey, aggressive cold calling strategies at all. Why? Because of a system like this. So anybody, go find a phone book in your house. Good luck. Okay. This is funny. It wound up on the front porch the other day.
I know. I was wondering where you got that from too.
Dude, I
had one yesterday.
Dude, I steal them. If I see them somewhere, I'll grab them and put them in my bag. Because but it's cool. I mean, if you think about it, guys, you go through the phone book and you say, okay, who do I know that's in auto glass?
Yeah.
Would you think to look that up right now?
No,
who do I know?
It's a great memory jog.
And it's insane, and then you rate that list. I mean, that's what. So in this book, the MREA, they talk about. I mean, you put 800, 900, 1,000 people into your database. That's what Alison and I had a conversation about her database, and she goes, "Oh, Anthony, it's probably 200." Hell no, it's not. I get if you've been in the business for 5, 6, 7 years, and your database is only 200, you're not tracking your database. Simply put, okay. And you're not nurturing them, you're not doing those things because your database is more. Alison, you've been in the business 5, 6 years, you sold 30, 40 homes every year. You got more than 200 because then the next question, what I asked you? Those people that were at your wedding.
Right.
And the reason why we go with the wedding theory is because those are people who are going to answer your phone call. And that's what everybody listen to this.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that yet, it is absolutely crazy. And let's be honest, especially right now. Why would you want to call your database right now?
Just to see how they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. That first buyer that you guys had, who was your first buyer, Brian? What's your first closing? Who was it?
My friend Tony.
Tony. Have you called Tony lately?
I have.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Alison, who was your first buyer?
Francis. I can't remember his last name, but no, I have not called him.
Okay. So call him right now on the call.
I don't think I have.
Oh, wait. Because we talked about database. Okay. So guys, look, like these guys can take this because they're leaders in our organization. And they could take this type of, the way I coach them up. But the fact is, Alison had realized that yesterday. She needs to work on her database. Okay. She needs to get a system in place, a structure in place that's going to work for her. That way, look, she can thrive. Okay. Because this is the time to thrive. Right now is the time to thrive.
Things have finally kind of slowed this week with everybody just being isolated. I have no worries that it's going to return once people start getting outside again. But
it's interesting because, we're still continuing our phone calls. We're still continuing our conversations. We're still talking to so many people and it's still being built up. And that's the beauty of what we do. Like Brian, you said, for example, this is different for you, man. You used to getting out and meeting people. It's not different for me. I'm kind of holding to my office now for the last 6, 8 months, a year, where I'm like, shit, now welcome to my world.
Yeah, well, now is the time to sort of reorganize, to learn some systems. New skills. You talk about the database. I'm sort of been working on that today, getting things together and doing a VIP sheet, birthdays and this and that, and just getting more touches with the clients that I've already had. Because, we've had this conversation before. Once you have a database of even 100 people, that is more than enough to generate 30 transactions a year.
Well, dude,
if you work it correctly. 100 people, let's assume they only know, 5 people in their whole lives.
In their whole lives, right?
You just multiplied that.
In the book, he says 1 to 2 a year. Think about this. 100 people in your database, if you work them, like if you do the 33 touch, system where you're touching these people consistently, dude, that could be 100 transactions by itself.
Yeah.
That can and will be, working on your sphere, working on your database, working on your client parties, those type of things. That's it. Absolutely. So we got, guys, we got agents who just joined the company. We have agents that aren't doing as much business as they want to. I sent a message to the team today. I was like, are you at the point where you want to be? Is your database where it wants to be? What's going on? What do you suggest to them? Somebody who's new, that's getting started. I know we talked about a few things, but what's like maybe the one pointer you'd like to give somebody like that?
I'd say you gotta keep trying different avenues. The avenues I may have started with are not the same. Obviously I talked about the huge portion that's, referral based, about, connecting people and working with friends and family. But it's also, there's a lot of other stuff out there. You need to just go and try. You need to invest time and you need to invest money. Yep. I think new agents are so afraid of, putting that money down because maybe they don't have enough in the pipeline to continue. But you've got to you got to keep planting those seeds everywhere. And that means, spending. What else are you spending money on? I guarantee you can look at that monthly budget and see all the BS that you're spending on it.
Yep.
And you're not going to put that towards your business.
Right.
You're not going to put $100, $200 towards your business every month. I know I'm spending more than that. It's constantly just, Anthony, you probably tried every system in the entire world and then created some, and then
and now I mean, dude, I don't use any of them now. I mean, I do use Mojo for like my database and things like that, which is relatively inexpensive. And it's funny because we all got a Hank of Ink, who's an amazing real estate agent and coach at eXp Realty. Guys, he sent out to the entire chain of people in eXp Realty, hey, I'm willing to coach y'all up for free. You're going to attend this thing right now. And a lot of people didn't show up, which is really interesting to me. I think we're all busy and so much, consumed. But what he did, Brian, he mentioned a personal P&L. I'm sorry. A personal P&L, profit and loss statement. And a lot of people don't do that. Like, you don't even realize. I mean, I tell you all the time, man, if you have a closing that's $5,000, you should put aside 20 to 30% of that. So you put aside $1,000. That $1,000 could be respent. I mean, you and I talk about spending that money on your farm almost every time we talk.
Yeah. And it's not, you don't have to get into all these marketing schemes. It's systems to keep things organized. Like HomeBot is the one I've been using. And it's not expensive, but it organizes you and it makes you more productive. And so the money you wind up spending from it just disappears because, one closing basically covers that for the entire year.
Exactly. You're going to spend it somewhere.
I think people get so caught up in this is a monthly payment or this is, I'm paying this, but you don't see the return. And because real estate it's a long game.
Yep.
You're not going to pick up those buyers that are ready to buy tomorrow all the time. Sometimes they come along, but a lot of it is just nurturing people along the way. And they might be 30 days out. They might be 3 years out. But if you stay in touch with them, I guarantee you that they're going to call you when it's time. And I've already seen that happen in my 2 short years of just staying in touch with people across the country that I don't even know.
Right.
I've had 3 clients already from California in 2 years.
How many times have you called them over the course of that time?
Through the internet. Guess what? One bought a $870,000 condo.
Yep.
One bought a $300,000 house in Destrehan. The other one bought. That's over $1 million just from staying in contact with somebody.
But $1 million in volume, right?
Make a phone call once a month.
And when you call them that much, regardless, like they may not know who you are, but if you call them for 12 months, once a month, guess what?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, like Anthony. Hey, Brian. How you doing? You become. I have one that Miss Lisa in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was calling her for 5-6 years, and this was a Baton Rouge conversation when I was living in Baton Rouge. She called me 5-6 years later. And she said, Anthony, I'm ready to sell. I was like, oh, Miss Lisa. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not selling in Baton Rouge. I'll refer you. I said, oh, no, honey. I got 3 houses in New Orleans I need to sell. Like, okay. And so that's what a lot of people,
conversations go like that sometimes.
It does. And people don't put enough time and energy maybe into it enough to kind of see it come into fruition.
Yeah, because it all goes back to people want to do business with people they
know and like. Exactly.
They trust and people they like. It's really that simple.
Touching back on staying in contact, I want to show you something I did last year and I'm doing this year. I just ordered some of the plant seeds from Amazon. Got
I like that.
Little packets of flower seeds, right? I think I got 100 for $20. Then I have a set of note cards.
Nice.
There's 60 in here. I got a pack of them. I try to pick these up whenever I see like a little pack on sale for $1 or whatever. And then, so many people, we stay in contact with email, text message, whatever. And the only thing we get in the mail is bills. So how nice it is to actually get something like this that just kind of, put a smile on your face, grab a lottery ticket and stick it in there, or
Oh yeah, I mean, I love getting stuff in the mail. You know that, like you said, that's not bills. It's like, oh,
right.
what is this?
They refer to it as bumpy mail too. I'll tell you, if you look at that strategy a long time ago, people talked about is, and like I keep them sometimes because I'll do it, but like a thumbtack, or I think I got them on here, a rubber band. You know, you put that into your mail and people are like, oh, what is this? And they look at it and kind of see it as something different. And that's things that people will open up too.
Oh,
Another,
that's why I've seen like pennies.
yep.
Or
Something in there.
Okay.
Or and they say too, is that a handwritten out. Your note card should be handwritten.
Right.
If it's computer generated, people typically don't look at it. Now, I'll tell you, it's like back to, it's like postcards are so good too. Like Brian and I talk about his farm in Destrehan, you know, man.
Get out of my farm.
Yeah, it's funny that y'all two in the same market too. But it's true. I mean, look, I mean, we have this conversation all the time where people, I mean, there's enough business in there to where you two both could do it. But I'll tell you, it's a small enough niche. And I coach people up on that all the time. Like Walter Gonzalez, he'll probably see this. And Walter and I talk about it all the time in Slidell, you know. And I can tell you, in this with the COVID-19 shit that we're dealing with, you know, Walter and I had this conversation the other day on our coaching calls. Man, how different would your business look right now if you didn't have to leave your neighborhood to sell a house? And he goes, he's just like shaking his head. You know, we don't look at this at the time or with everything. It's just, you know, we don't know until it happens, and right now we're seeing it. So what do you, with that said, I know a lot of real estate agents are kind of struggling to get through this time. You know, we talked about keeping the phone calls up. You know, we talked about staying in contact, but what's the things more beyond that you guys recommend right now? What are y'all doing right
now? Going back to my sphere, really, and checking on them. And I've already, it's gone miles, just doing that.
So what do you telling them? What are you asking them?
Really, I'm just calling to see how they are.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not really mentioning anything about, you know, but they always ask, you know, how's it going, this and that. And
right.
And sooner or later, it's crazy. I don't ever even bring it up. And then someone's like, oh, you know, my cousin is looking to buy a house. Or I got a buddy who works at one of the hospitals. He's got, you know, a ton of people coming in from out of state.
Yep.
That need a place to live.
Yep.
And, you know, most of them are going to be leases. And I don't normally handle those. But when it's such a high volume like that, I have no problem, you know, working with that. And especially when it's people that may settle down here eventually. And what do you know? One of them likes one of my listings and boom, under contract.
Right.
with Marco. So
nice. So that's I know you had to buy on that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So boom. It happens just like that, just by reaching out and saying. So that's what I'm doing. Like I'm saying, getting organized, checking on my clients, and then just seeing kind of where that goes.
Alison, what are you doing?
So, we have another business as well that's kind of taken a front seat here at this very moment because we're on some deadlines.
Right.
But really, after my conversation with you, it really opened up my mind and pushing me in another direction. I took tons of notes yesterday, and I've already started doing some research on some things we talked about, on what path I want to take. Like I said, I ordered those flower seeds last night. I ordered my book yesterday.
What book?
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Real estate, this one?
Yeah. That one, exactly.
Why did we talk about that one? What made you order that one? Why did we bring that one up?
Because you asked me I said, what are your top 2 books to read right now? Right. And you started to name a couple because one that I was reading you didn't recommend.
Right.
And you said, had I ever read that one? And I said, I started it on Audible. And he's like, no, you need the hard copy.
Right.
You need it in your hands.
Well, we got into the database, and that's what, you know,
right.
Back to its systems. Like Brian had mentioned, you know, this is the time to do these type of things. The reason why I have this book on Audible, I have this book on Kindle, and I have the hard copy. And I used to have the student edition, like it was like bound, but I don't know what I did with it. I lost it, which is crazy. But the fact is, I mean, it's systems, guys. I tell people all the time: systems, standards, schedules, a schedule. You know, and that's the three things. Those three S's building your business is the reason why. Because we did. I recommended one book, and then we talked about database. I was like, oh hell no, this is the book you need to read.
And the other one was Dare to Lead.
Yep, that's an interesting one. Why we did that one?
Because I have a hard time leading others.
Right. But yeah, and you know, I don't think you have a hard time. You know, I don't think you know.
I get in the way of myself.
Right. Well, because you are a leader, you're a natural leader. You do things for leadership. You're leading people. I mean, you got people that are going to watch this video in your downline who you are leaders too. You just need to be aware of how well of a leader you are. You know, we always just think about that. I mean, look, we all struggle with, I know Brian's got people. I have a lot of people, obviously, and we struggle with leadership at times. You know, but the fact is, we're all natural born leaders. You just got to continue to grow from it, be aware for sure. So what else are you doing? I mean, you got you know, you're doing these type of things. So what's you guys plans? I mean, what's your roadmap look like for the next 3 months?
It's still developing.
It's still developing.
Yeah. You know, because you know, as a real estate agent, we're considered essential personnel.
Correct.
But our clients are not considered essential personnel
At all.
So where we can go out and show a house, we have no one to show it to.
Right.
So we're having to change the way we're doing things by FaceTiming, Zoom calls. On my listings, I've done virtual, like a video of it.
Yep.
You know, there's some cool tools out there, and a couple of our local photographers and videographers that do that Matterport.
Have you seen eXp Realty's 360 virtual tours?
Yes, I have.
Yep. Those are wild.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yep.
Yeah, we have one. Sarah, one of my girls in my team, has one, but she's in North Carolina. So I wish we had it here with us right now that we could play around with it, because it's such an important time.
Yep.
But it's a video that you can actually look up and look
down,
right and left. It's pretty cool.
So Brian, what's your roadmap look like in the next 3 months?
Listings.
That's well, we had.
How are you getting those, Brian?
What are you doing to get those? Yes, let's talk about that.
Well, some of the things that I talked about already, and basically getting these call-in lists of sort of targeted ads that focus on people relocating, and also people that are just curious. The home value ones, they really do work. Of people just requesting through. I've partnered with Hung through HomeBot, and really it just sends out periodic messages, especially on like the first year anniversary of the sale of the house, to see kind of where the values stand, where you know, it's not uncommon for somebody to live. I think the average person moves like every 5-7 years, something like that.
Yeah,
which
it used to be.
But I look at how many times I move, and I know it's true. Yeah,
it's expanded, dude. Too. I mean, I'll tell you, that number used to be like a lot less, but it's interesting now. Maybe we'll have to do a whole separate webinar on a WebBot or a HomeBot. Yeah,
it is. It's pretty interesting. I'm just diving into it during this time where I actually have to breathe. So, but yeah, I think that, along with you know, the little bit of prospecting, is gonna, when this does sort of blow over, then I think the floodgates are gonna open. I really do. That's been the question through everybody, and that's another topic of conversation for clients and for videos like this. Is everyone's asking, what's going to happen with the housing market?
Yep.
You know, what are you seeing? And really, things didn't slow down until maybe last week.
Yeah, you and I have been talking about that, and you told me, like, last week, you've only slowed down just now.
Yeah, and it's where I think it's just because literally no one needs to leave the house right now. But obviously, this whole situation, the market is getting hammered. I mean, don't even open up your retirement account or anything right now.
No.
Kill you. but there's no underlying problem with the economy as a whole besides this pandemic. There are certain sectors that, Anthony, you and I talked about this yesterday with the restaurant industry and the entertainment industry. I mean, a lot of them aren't going to recover from this.
Nope.
There, there's a lot of different sectors that are either aren't going to recover, or it's going to take a prolonged amount of time to get back to where they were. I don't see the housing market as one of those sectors. No. It's just simply things were really good before. They're just on hold right now, it seems like. And people still need to move. People will still need to live somewhere.
I think we're getting, my opinion, is that we're getting a lot of all the negative, which there is a ton of negative. Don't get me wrong. But look, people still, for the most part, have savings. They're able to afford this. There's a large portion that can't, there's a large portion that will, that can, And the fact is, the portion that will, life does go on essentially, and it does. As real estate professionals, we can't afford to shut down, and so you want to be that person that's the shining star at some point. I know I see a lot of people posting about, oh, don't post your success. Don't share a lot of what's going on good in your life right now. But, I think that's absolute craziness. I think you got to share your success and talk about how you succeed. Are there people who are struggling? 1,000,000%. You know what? I'm the first one to offer any type of help or assistance, especially for real estate agents. I have to tell you, I probably had 10 real estate agents reach out to me in the last week and say, Anthony, what are you doing? And you know what I tell them? This. And they're like looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, I've been making podcasts and phone calls and videos because you know what? We don't know. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to have a large sphere of people that I'm kind of communicating with, and they're doing different things. And I'm just going to try to share as much knowledge as I can. And you EXP people who are listening to this, look, there's a lot of agents out there that don't have resources. Like as you look in right here, our passport, that 60-day passport where EXP Realty say, you know what? We don't care. We're opening up our cloud university that our agents pay for free to you guys for 60 plus days. Okay. Yeah. And this is 20, 30 classes a day of some of the best real estate agents in the country, some of the best masterminds, some of the best discussions that you could possibly have. And it's funny because I sent out probably 10, 12 invitations today. And it's just, it's interesting that a lot of real estate agents didn't even know that this existed. They had no clue. I had 2 brokers today come into conversations with me, and they were like, wow, you mean to tell me I could add all my agents? So give me the list of agents. I will add them all to our training right now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is good stuff, right? Real good stuff. So, guys, we're going to wrap up. This has been a good call. I want to start doing this more. Look, you guys in our downline, Keisha, Trey, Anitra, everybody else, it's in there. I'm going to call a few of y'all out because I call y'all. I'm going to answer your phone last week when I called y'all. So, look, come jump on these calls with us. We're going to have these conversations. So, anything y'all want to, give a shout out to anybody? Talk about anything before we go?
I would like to give a shout out. The 3 of us, along with Hungley at Movement Mortgage and Crescent Title and Keisha Hinchman, will all be donating food to St. Charles Hospital on April 19th.
All right, guys. There's a bunch of y'all in our downline at EXP Realty that can definitely contribute to that for sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
Brian, you got anything for us?
No.
It's all about giving back, guys.
I was going to add that, Alison. I'm glad you said it.
Well, it's our time to step up. Yeah, we're real estate professionals, but our community and our loved ones and neighborhoods are needing our help. It's the time to do it.
Well, Brian's not going to say this, but Brian and I run a local New Orleans Instagram account together, and Brian went out about 2 weeks ago and probably spent a few $100s on gift cards for these restaurants. I can tell you, dude, that was awesome because I seen the messages coming back, like people at Mesa Ripas and different restaurants in K-Rico. They were like ecstatic that you did that, man. So thank you for doing that too. That was awesome.
Yeah. They're so good to us, and
amazing people.
I just hope some of these places are still around. It's really, I don't know if y'all saw some of those videos of New Orleans, the drone footage.
I did.
Showing like before and after photos. I mean, it really kind of brings tears to your eyes. What's going on right there?
Yeah, it is to see the French Quarter to not have a soul on the streets. I mean, look, if you're listening and watching this video, we got agents in New York and in California. I mean, you guys are dealing with it too, but it's eerie to see that. It's crazy.
Mike and my husband and I, we actually ventured out this weekend, stayed in our car, did not get out, but drove through downtown in the quarter.
Wow.
And it was just so weird.
It is.
It's never like that. I mean,
yeah,
4 a.m. There's
right.
people out
I mean, it was almost like, because there was buildings boarded up, like they were gearing for a hurricane.
I dealt with it. I was there for Katrina. I mean, I was in the French Quarter.
That's what it looked like. It looked like Katrina without the.
But Katrina, there was still people out. Like the French Quarter was shut down, but I'll tell you, the people was still out and about.
Right.
Yeah, guys, crazy, interesting times that we're living through. We're all dealing with it. Look, we're here to help y'all. If y'all are in our downline eXp Realty, look, reach out. We're here to help. And if you're watching this video and you're interested in talking about the company, reach out to us.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too. Bye.
See ya.